Virginia Tufte, whose book Artful Sentences 2006 begins with this sentence of Burgess's, comments, "It is syntax that gives the words the power to relate to each other in a sequence, to carry meaning of whatever kind, as well as glow individually in just the right place." Flaubert's famous search for the mot juste was not a search for words that glow alone, but for words so precisely placed that in combination with other words, also precisely placed, they carve out a shape in space and time. Here is Dillard again. When you write, you lay out a line of words. The line of words is a miner's pick, a woodcarver's gouge, a surgeon's probe. You wield it, and it digs a path you follow. And when you come to the end of the path, you have a sentence. Flaubert described himself in a letter as being in a semi-diseased state, itching with sentences. He just had to get them out. He would declaim them to passers-by. I wish I had been one of them. Some people are bird watchers, others are celebrity watchers, still others are flora and fauna watchers. I belong to the tribe of sentence watchers. Some appreciate fine art, others appreciate fine wines, I appreciate fine sentences. I am always on the lookout for sentences that take your breath away, for sentences that make you say, "Isn't that something?" or "What a sentence!" Some of my fellow sentence appreciators have websites. Best sentences ever, sentences we love, best first sentences, best last sentences. Invariably, the sentences that turn up on these sites are not chosen for the substantive political or social or philosophical points they make. They are chosen because they are performances of a certain skill at the highest level. The closest analogy, I think, is to sports highlights. You know, the 5 greatest dunks, or the 10 greatest catches, or the 15 greatest touchdown runbacks. The response is always, "Wasn't that amazing?" or "Can you believe it?" or "I can't for the life of me see how he did that," or "What an incredible move," or "That's not humanly possible." And always the admiration is a rueful recognition that you couldn't do it yourself, even though you also have 2 hands and feet. It is the same with sentences that do things the language you use every day would not have seemed capable of doing. We marvel at them. We read them aloud to our friends and spouses, even occasionally to passers-by. We analyze them. We lament our inability to match them. One nice thing about sentences that display a skill you can only envy is that they can be found anywhere, even when you're not looking for them. I was driving home listening to NPR and heard a commentator recount a story about the legendary actress Joan Crawford. It seems that she never left the house without being dressed as if she were going to a premiere or a dinner at Sardi's. An interviewer asked her why. She replied, "If you want to see the girl next door, go next door." It is hardly surprising that Joan Crawford had thought about the importance to fans of movie stars behaving like movie stars. Since her time, there has been a sea change. Now, courtesy of paparazzi, we see movie stars picking up their laundry in Greenwich Village or Brentwood. What may be surprising is that she could convey her insight in a sentence one could savor. It is the bang-bang swiftness of the short imperative clause, "go next door," that does the work by taking the commonplace phrase, "the girl next door," literally, and reminding us that next door is a real place where one should not expect to find glamour, unless, of course, one is watching Judy Garland singing The Boy Next Door in Meet Me in St. Louis. A good sentence can turn up in the middle of a movie where it shines for an instant and then recedes as the plot advances. At one point in The Magnificent Seven, 1960, the bandit leader, played by Eli Wallach, explains why he isn't bothered much by the hardships suffered by the peasant farmers whose food and supplies he plunders. If God didn't want them sheared, he would not have made them sheep.